Howdy everyone, Brian here, Dr. Brian. It's Saturday evening. I think it's the 3rd. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3rd of August. And have had a good day. I didn't publish yesterday, so I apologise. And I'm not going to reset the counter, that's just not fair. I'm allowed to drop a day, so it seems one day a fortnight I'm not here. Anyway, I know the world kept going. We all love each other, but you'll do fine. You'll do fine. So what's on today? The logic of the body, the logic of life, challenges ahead. I think it's very interesting. I'm interested in many things. I've been blessed and cursed with a brain that's able to sort of actually be good at all sorts of things, and one of the interests I have is business, finance, I suppose the world economy. So just open an account and I'm trading options on the New York Exchange, and we've had a good week, week one, and I'm up, so it's good. Not a lot, but about 10%, so that's good. So I'm quite aware as I listen, as I motor around, that the world economy is in a state of change, and there's a lot that predict that it will sort of fall over like a pack of cards. And in that regard, there's many things that I think we need to arm ourselves with. One is actually information, and the other is health. So if you're not healthy insofar as you are not healthy, you're not taking any drugs. You might take supplements, but you're not taking drugs. So you aren't dependent on pharmaceutical drugs to give you a healthy profile. Because it's quite likely, if the changes that are predicted occur, many of us, well, I'm not on any medications, but many people depend on them, and they depend on a third-party payer. So whether it's the government, as in Australia we have a national health system, or whether it's an insurance company, as it might be in the US, it's possible that if the budgets become really as tight as it is suggested, things like there will be a trimming of the cloth, and whether individuals fall into that or not no one will know until it happens. So taking action to actually improve your health now is probably smart, because there'll be a bit of a rush for the doors, and everyone will see themselves as the worthy case, as we all do, because we are intrinsically selfish, which is not bad. This is the concept that you can only really see the world through your own perspective. And it's a fruitless exercise to ask other people to see you as you see you. Even your mother and your father don't understand you and know you as you know yourself. They often are very good insights as to who you are or who we are. But there's a point at which, as adults, we become ourselves, and that's not how they knew us as children. I digress. So one of my current experiments is to work with this paleo eating program, and I'm just cooking some salmon and some vegetables that are in the allowable category: celery, onion, garlic, red pepper, green pepper. I thought it was zucchini, but it turned out to be Lebanese cucumber, which is a smaller cucumber with a very thin skin, so you can eat the whole thing. And it was particularly nice with some Stilton cheese. I'm actually really liking this eating program. It's really good. I can eat all the foods I love, and I do think it probably is helping me. But generally, my innards, my gut and bowel and digestion is much more balanced. So that's very good. So I think that I know that nearly all of us can do better if we eat better. And the one thing that I know I am doing an extremely slow nutrition qualification with Precision Nutrition, and they are extremely able, lots of pointy PhDs, coached several 100,000 people, so their data's very outcome based on what happens for people. And what's interesting is that people get good outcomes nearly regardless of the eating profile, as long as the food is unprocessed. But within that, I think that it's potentially the case that for a lot of people, carbohydrates and starchy vegetables and grains actually are pretty highly inflammatory, and they then make you sensitive to everything else. So you may do quite well to alter your pantry for a period and see how your markers change. So knowledge is power. Not being dependent on third-party payers to keep you healthy is super important if you want to live well. And becoming economically literate. It's money is the thing that keeps us allowing, it's necessary in the 21st century to live. There's some significant changes going on there. The governments are driving us out of cash and into electronic money, and most of the Western world now has bail-in legislation, so if the banks look like they're collapsing, they now are able to take your money. That legislation's passed, it exists. It's not clear how much money they can take, but if you've got deposits, they can actually take them, and you then can't withdraw the money because you can't get cash because cash doesn't exist anymore. So it's kind of like all those movies we watched in the 80s and 90s, and we thought that'll never happen, but now it is. So economic understanding and financial knowledge is really important if you want to actually be more independent as you move forward. So my health tip for today is to experiment a little bit with eating differently. Look at how you feel, but you potentially need to clear the decks and maybe go on some sort of cleanse or fast for a period, so that you actually get a neutral body, so you can tell how it feels when it's working well, and then you can tell which food's irritated by how you feel subsequently. And getting knowledge about money and economics, so that you can learn what to do. And a good place to start would be Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. He is brilliant and very understandable. I find too often when people come to see me, they'd like to come and have us look after them, but they commonly will cite money as a reason they do not. Now, I also know that people will come when they know that when the value equation works for them, and so regardless of what the fee is, they will actually prioritise it over other things because they realise that it carries great value for them. So that's me communicating the value so that they can make that decision. But for many, there's still an issue around cash flow and disposable income. And the reality is that there's many ways that you can actually take charge of your finances and actually then be the chooser of be much more in choice and much less feeling like you're hemmed into a no-choice solution. So there you go, that's the 8 minutes for Saturday the 3rd. Comment below. I will go back into a lot of these YouTubes and actually add links in the future to resources that will be relevant. So in the meantime, enjoy it. You can find your way to Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's super easy. Just type him in, he'll turn up all over the place. Robert Kiyosaki, a great guy. Okay, all the best. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.